Richie escalates the dispute between the Harrigans and the Stevensons by attacking Kevin's house in the opening scene of episode 3 of MobLand. In the face of death threats, Harry displays his wit and skill by making a phone call that disarms the assassins dispatched by Richie. Tommy's murder is revealed in the episode, and a heated argument and violent altercation ensue, as Valjean first accuses Eddie of being the killer. The predicament becomes even more convoluted and tense as a result of Maeve's deceptive behavior and fixation with pure-blood adherents. In a calculated move to avert a catastrophic gang war, Harry employs reverse psychology on Valjean, getting him to accept responsibility for Tommy's death. Richie's real sorrow at hearing of his son's death reveals a more nuanced side to his character than what was first shown. Harry manages to prevent a full-scale war at the end of the episode, but the future is still unclear due to unresolved tensions and Maeve's persistent plotting. As the light fades, old man, he clings weakly to life, aged and frail. However, the elderly resident of a nursing home was once a man consumed by wrath, and this wrath was directed viciously at a young Harry. On his way to assist Maria, his family's cleaner, in finding a good home for his mom, Harry runs into an old acquaintance at the nursing home. We learn from subsequent flashbacks that this was formerly a violent prison officer who brutally beat Harry while he was a juvenile detainee. Here, we get our first glimpse of Harry's tormented soul, a man who appears tough on the outside, but has a tender, fiery center. Someone has a feeling this is going to be a form of fiery revenge. Bella and Harry, last scene. Towards the end of the episode, before she offers herself to Harry in the hotel room, Bella asks him a question. Why do you do this? What? Run around like a blue-arse fly for an insane, disloyal monster. We're all monsters, Bella. When he said that, I was reminded of that Stephen King quote in his introduction to The Shining. Monsters are real, and ghosts are real too. They live inside us, and sometimes they win. That long, drawn sigh Harry lets out when he gets back to his car says everything you need to know about his monsters. A Jenga tower of mounting stress is Harry's life. His marriage is suffering under the strain of his profession. He wants to sleep with his best friend's wife, and he might be wanted by the police. Plus, there's the matter of dealing with the crazy Eddie Harrigan and the murdering Richie Stevenson. He is aware that law enforcement is following him. He lets him off the hook. A tip regarding Arch's body's whereabouts is subsequently received by the Fuzz, along with a lifeless elderly woman. He is crammed into a coffin. The Fuzz are certain that they have found Harry, and the pressure is starting to build on him. Episode 3 adds some more plot points. Review of MobLand. But not much. Just when I think we're getting somewhere, the scene keeps going, and suddenly I'm unsure. The show aspires to be clever, but falls short. Kevin and Harry question the club owner, Valjean, about his involvement in the gruesome business of cutting men's heads off. It turns out the fear of death was just a ruse, to get him to say that killing Tommy was his idea and not Eddie's. Although that ought to be sufficient for MobLand, Harry and Kevin persist in this simulated execution routine for about 25 minutes of the show. It's funny, but it's also really nasty. At the conclusion, I couldn't tell what was a joke and what was important knowledge to remember. The involvement of Considine and Hardy is a relief, as they consistently play the part of old friends. In MobLand, that's the way things work, I've noticed. What could have been an engaging and straightforward tale about youth atoning for their father's transgressions is instead obscured by an abundance of unnecessary complexity and mysteries. Hardy, Brossman, and the jolt of adrenaline that follows jokes that end in kneecaps are the few things that continue to captivate me. But it's a tightrope walk, and a lighthearted episode won't carry a whole season.